For the last 1 month, I've been asking a lot of people, including parents, teachers, principals, if you had to discover clarity, and if you had to have a framework for clarity, what would it be for you? And from almost everyone except one, I didn't get the answer to what is a framework when you're at a crossroad in life. That one person, he said, look left, look right, go straight. Now, I have been searching for clarity for the longest period of time. And when I discovered what clarity is, I found it hidden in a pencil. And like pencils, when you don't have clarity, life can seem pointless, can feel broken. My brother once told me, and he's been telling me whenever we were growing up, he's my older brother, Samir, my life is an experiment. Learn from it. And I looked at my surname when I was preparing for this speech, Geepee, and I realized I've been a guinea pig too. I've been learning from life so that you can take away something from it about clarity. Today I'm here to speak about clarity so that you have clarity, more about clarity. Let me go back and step into my own life and share with you how confused I was early in life. When I was 17, I had no clue what to do. I was absolutely confused. My parents asked me, what do you want to do, Samir? And I said, I don't know. Then Dad said, go do engineering. And as I was going along engineering, I knew immediately this is not what I want to do in life, but I still didn't know what I wanted to do. So what next? I continued, and while in college, I read a book by Ayn Rand called The Fountainhead, and I realized something very important. What I really want to do is have freedom. Because there is a quote that defined my journey for me. It said, find a job you love to do, and you will not have to work one day in your life. How amazing that felt to hear it and to start living it. So I went on life, 22, I graduated with a degree in being lost. I still had no clue what I wanted to do, but I knew I wanted freedom. So I started chasing it. I started chasing it until I reached a point where I was like, all the jobs that I did in between was not giving me freedom. So I thought marriage might be the answer to it. So I decided to get married at 28 and realized very quickly that is not the answer to freedom. So then, at 29, I left my job, I left all familiar places, everything, and I moved to a foreign country, China, where I knew no one, I didn't know the language, and I started from scratch, not with a job, but starting my own business. Because what I was really chasing was freedom. I had freedom for the next few years, but at 36, I realized there's something that is missing. And I knew being in China was not the answer. Having freedom was not enough. There's something that is missing because of which I am not feeling fulfilled. I am not feeling satisfied with life. I am not feeling joyful about living every single day. There's something that is missing. And then I decided to quit everything, pack my bags, quit the country, and move to Dubai. A few years I struggled, I tried to find out what is my calling, what is it that I want. Freedom is there, but there's something else that has to be there, which is what I'm seeking. And I just couldn't put my finger on it. Until, at the age of 39, by sheer accident, I discovered the world of coaching. And I was immediately gobsmacked. I was like shocked. Trust me, when I say this, I was shocked that people would pay me money for having a conversation with me. I was like, really? Is this really happening? And then I looked around and I realized very quickly that they're not paying me for my conversations, they're paying for their transformations. So I leaned into it. So you see, it took me more than 20 years to discover clarity for myself. But then it was 1 month ago when I said, let me connect the dots and see how can I use everything that I've gone through in life as an experiment to share with you. Because if you do not have clarity, what will happen is you will go through anxiety, you will go through challenges, and you will wonder, where the hell is my life going? So then I unpacked the 4 elements that are absolutely essential for us all to have clarity. And they are, Vision, obstacles, insights, and strengths. Unless and until we don't have these four, we are not going to get clarity. Look at me at 17. I had no vision. I was ready to face some obstacles, which is what my dad wanted me to do. But then at 21, I discovered freedom is what I wanted. So I had a vision. And I was willing to face any obstacle, whether it is marriage, whether it is moving to China, whether it is anything in my path, starting my own business. I was willing to take all those obstacles in pursuit of freedom. But even though I had freedom, and I was taking out lessons from them, which is insights, I felt something was missing. Until when I was 39. When I sat in that room, having coaching experience and realizing, this is what I was born to do. This is what life was preparing me for. And when that moment hit me, then I knew I had found something which will let me know how to live the rest of my life. So I began leaning into this. I began leaning into my strength. I started coaching. I started doing all of those things. I built the clarity game. I wrote a book on conversations. In fact, when I discovered the world of coaching at 39, and I told my family that this is what I'm going to do, my father was like, Samir, why didn't you choose this before? This is who you are. This is what you should have been doing all your life. And then I asked him, if you knew, why didn't you tell me? Right? And then I realized something very profound. And that is, VOIS stands for voice, right? It's your voice. If you're not listening to your inner voice, you're not listening to your inner voice, but you're listening to the voice of others. Others' expectation of you, others' vision for you, others' obstacles that they put in your path, then you are not going to have clarity. And then what is going to happen is this. You'll be like this pencil. Now this pencil, there are three kinds of pencils. Let me tell you this. There is the broken pencil, as you see. There is the dull pencil. And then there is the sharp pencil. Right? Now what is a broken pencil? The broken pencil is when you're listening to others' voice for you. You're not listening to your own voice. You're not listening to what are your strengths. You're not listening to what is it that makes you happy. And therefore, you feel broken. And when you start finding out your own voice, you start stepping into it. You start feeling confident. You start feeling joyful about life. You start knowing what is the next step to take. And then you know you're a sharp pencil. So the point represents clarity, and if the point represents clarity, then the pencil is the VOIS. And unless and until we are not sharpening the voice, what will happen is we'll turn into a dull pencil. And what is a dull pencil? Someone who feels their life is dull. It used to be sharp, it used to be exciting, it used to be great at one point of time, but no more. No more because you stop sharpening your voice. You stop identifying what your strengths are and leaning into it. Now, where do you begin if you're a 17-year-old? We're told, find a job you love to do, and you'll have to be happy for the rest of your life. Find something that will give you a lot of money. Find something that will give you a lot of success. They say, start with the end in mind. And I say, no, please don't. If you're 17 and if you're going into life, or if you're at crossroad at any age in your life, find your strength first. Not your job, not your vision. This is my recommendation. Find your strength. Find what it is that gives you joy every single day to lean into. I discovered at the age of 39 and later on that my strength was conversations. I loved having conversations. I loved having conversations with others and myself in a deep, reflective, meaningful way that gave me insights. It gave me joy, so I became a student of conversation. I started writing books about conversations. I built a game around conversations. Everything became about conversations for me. Once you identify your strengths, the next step in the process is to identify what is the greatest leverage you can create from that vision you have for yourself. You can create a vision for yourself while you lean into your strengths. And if you're looking at a vision by leaning into your strengths, then you ask yourself, what obstacles are you willing to face in pursuit of that vision? And every time you face obstacles, which means you're getting out of your comfort zone and trying to learn more and more about yourself and things that challenge you so that you can sharpen your strengths, you will get new insights. You learn new things about yourself. You learn new things about your goals and your strengths. You are continuously sharpening yourself. And therefore, what happens? They say AI is going to take over the world and change our jobs, etc. You will not worry about having not a job because you are not focused on the job. You're focused on the strength. You will always find something to do if you're leaning into your strengths and not into a particular job. Industries might change. Everything might change. But you, who you are, will not. And if you are continuously looking at what you can lean into, then what will happen is you will always draw insights while you lean into your strengths, pursuing obstacles for your vision. What does this sharpener represent? The sharpener can be the parents in society. It can be the teachers in society. It can be us, for those around us, coaches, consultants, whoever that is. Our job is to help those around us sharpen their own voice. It is not for us to write the script for them. It is for us to help them sharpen it. And sharpener represents curiosity. As long as you're being curious in your conversations, as long as you're having curiosity in every approach that you have, then you'll see that you are getting clarity every single day. And clarity is knowing your next step in the journey, which brings you joy, fulfillment, and a clear path ahead. So from today onwards, if any of you hear someone say, or say to yourself, I don't have clarity, remember the pencil. And remember that all you need to do is sharpen your vision, your obstacles and insights, and your strengths. Sharpen your voice. Thank you.